I have been 1,000 different women. Make peace with all the women you once were. Lay flowers at their feet. Offer them incense and honey and forgiveness. Honor them and give them your silence. Listen. Bless them and let them be. For they are the bones of the temple you sit in now. For they are the rivers of wisdom leading you back to the sea. Welcome. Thank you for being here. My name's Tori and I make videos all about somatics, Barre, embodiment, and really nourishing your life. I appreciate you for being here. I want to talk today about why just focusing on the new year and your 2025 goals is beneficial, but it's also not the exact path to walk down to attain those new goals. I want to talk about how honoring all the past versions of you can create liberating freedom in your life, and how pressure can be thought of as this nourishing feeling instead of something that we have to resist and move away from. The value of really honoring all of the women that we've been, especially as we're coming up to 2025 and we're looking towards our next goal, our next year's intentions, something that we want to work towards, which is really a beautiful thing to focus on and laser focus your intention on, to create goals and visions around. But we often bypass and overlook all of the versions of us that we are and that we have been that have got us here today, especially in that beautiful poem at the start of the video, that we sitting here now are living in the temple of the bones that make up every past version of us. And it's so easy to overlook and not honor them, to really bypass that version because we're so future driven and future focused on who we're going to be and what we're calling in, which is obviously a beautiful way to think and a great way to focus on exactly what you're calling into your life. But through not honoring all of the versions of us that we've been, and I know myself, I've been 1,000 different versions of myself to sit here today as this version. All of the tears, all of the struggles, all of the upset, all of the joy, all of the laughter, all of it mattering, all of it vital to our growth. So as you look towards 2025, I really invite you to honor all of the versions of you that you've been. And in doing so, it creates this honoring. It creates this honoring of who you've been, and it acknowledges who you've been, not in a need to better yourself and move past and ignore that version of you, or that you've essentially outgrown that version of you, but that you appreciate that version for all of her struggles, for all of her joy, for all of her knowledge and wisdom that she gives you, because it really is so potent for me that the bones of the temple that we're sitting now, so the version of us that we're sat as right in this second, the version of you that you are sat as in this second right now, is made up of every single version of you that you've been. Every diet you've been on, every diet you've quit, every job, every heartbreak, every joy, every wisdom, every book you've read, every playground you've run on, every hug you've had, every tear you've cried, everything. All of those versions are here today in the bones of the body that you're living in. And I really think it's worth honoring those versions because they're vital. They're so vital in us moving forward and calling in whatever we're calling in, because we're carrying all of those versions with us. And if we don't honor them and release them, if there's versions and aspects of them that are not helpful, are not nourishing to your life, are not calling in this vibe that you're calling in, if they are actually hurtful, if they are discouraging, and if they are actually resisting and restricting your life, we have to honor them and release them. Otherwise, we're just carrying them forward and forward and forward. So have you ever got to a new year and wrote down so many goals and so many intentions that you want to grow into and start and acknowledge and read books about, and it gets to the end of January and you're so deflated because you haven't started any of them. You don't even know how to start any of them, and you don't even know where to begin. You haven't set any goals, any boundaries, any intentions. You haven't even Googled it or whatever it is that you're calling in or wanting to start. And it's because maybe there's something in you that's resisting that. Maybe there's a version in you that finds whatever you're calling in on a body-based level really exciting. You know, maybe it's that you want to start a new class, a new yoga class, but you haven't booked the class. You haven't even Googled any local classes because there's something in you that's resisting going. And that's the version of you that you want to address, because the beliefs of that version of you that you're carrying from an older version of you that you've lived through is resisting you moving forward in your life. So really getting to know yourself, getting to know where you hold yourself back, what resistance you feel, where you feel small, where you feel unworthy, where you are ignorant and where you ignore or avoid something, is so vital to us moving forward and actually attaining the goals that we want to attain. And I want to talk today as well about being formed under pressure, because we often run away and avoid pressure and things that pressurize us and cause us stress, and we associate pressure with something negative, with being squashed, with being forced, constricted, and it can mean something different. So when we're often in a job, we sometimes feel pressurized. We have deadlines. We want to perform and attain and do this piece of work by the deadline, and we feel pressurized. But pressure can have a totally different meaning. You can give it a different meaning in the sense that diamonds are formed under pressure. It is actually the pressure on them that forms the diamond. Just like when you go to the gym and you're lifting weights, your muscles are formed under pressure. Just as a butterfly exits a cocoon, when the butterfly comes to exit the cocoon after it's fully formed in the cocoon, the butterfly goes through so much struggle to get out of the cocoon, and it's actually the struggle and the pressure that allows the butterfly to have its strength. So depending on the amount of pressure and struggle that the butterfly actually goes through to exit depends on the ability of that butterfly to fly and have strength. How amazing is that, right? So think about an experience that you've had in your life where you felt struggle and pressure and resistance and something that you don't want to do. And the second you do it and liberate yourself from having it on your to-do list or carrying it on your shoulders, you feel elated, you feel liberated, you feel like you can take on the world, because the thing that you were avoiding and stressing about and churning through endless thoughts about is now behind you, and you have successfully ticked it off and done it, right? We're formed through pressure. We're formed through all of our struggles. We're formed through all of these versions of us that have lived before. So if there's something that you're carrying with you, and you're ready to let go of, something that is really weighing on you, I invite you to honor and release that version, because the pain and the struggle and the resistance and the avoidance you feel to looking at that is how you're gonna soar through that pressure. That all these things happen to us in life and it calls us to up level. The resistance really is the path to heal, and it's the path that we don't want to take because it's so uncomfortable. No one wants to begin a new program. No one wants to stand in front of their first audience and give a speech. No one wants to lead a workshop for the first time. We do essentially within us and within our bodies and our desires, but our resistance and our fears and our mind can bring up all of these resisting feelings. And it's only through walking through that resistance, through that path, doing the thing that we're resisting that gives us liberation in our body. And it's the same thing with pressure. And it's the same thing with the 2025 goals that we're working towards. Honoring the feelings that we're feeling right now and seeing what the resistance is to attaining those goals, it's going to really give us a clear direction of the things we want to work on. And actually, the resistance and the patterns that are going on in your life that are creating that avoidance, they are the exact things you want to work on, because they are the exact things that are going to give you that liberation and that freedom to attain anything. Because once you've walked through resistance, you've felt the pressure and you've liberated yourself from it, you can take on the world. You can literally do anything and take on the world. It is so freeing. So maybe there's a pattern that you constantly revert to, and you maybe know that it's not serving you so much. Maybe it did in the past, maybe it's not serving you so much, and you feel it in your body, you feel it as maybe a tight chest, tight throat, whatever it is, and that is your body letting you know that that resistance is real. So no matter what 2025 goals you make, no matter how many Pinterest boards, no matter how many vision boards you make, no matter how many 10-step plans you make to do the thing, you're not going to do the thing if the resistance is there and you are avoiding it. And let me tell you, the resistance at its very heart and at its very core is trying to protect you from something. Maybe there's a memory, maybe there's a thought about something in the past, and the resistance is protecting you from feeling that again. So as you go into 2025, I really invite you to honor all the past versions of you that you've been. Really worship the bones, because they make up the temple of the body that you now live in. And if there's a goal that you are looking to attain in 2025, I'd maybe write them down now and come up with all the ways that you believe that you will sabotage these goals, that you will not attain them, that you will go around them. And that is the exact thing you want to work with. The reason why you don't want to go and book the yoga class, the reason why you don't want to Google how to set up something, the reason why you don't want to do something is the exact thing to work on, because that is the exact path to freedom. I hope this video has been juicy and helpful, and yes, I appreciate you watching it and being here. I would love if you could like and subscribe. It allows me to know what videos are worthwhile and nourishing to you, and I will see you in a video soon.